radio. With the switch of a dial, radio brings you tragedy, comedy, entertainment, information, education. A whole world at your command.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back to part 2 of the G500 refurbishment, restoration, or whatever you want to call it. Going to start out today's video by one of my sponsors, and that's Jaime's, and they make the best alcohol-free vodka around. It's just so good. Just get all that great vodka flavor without that heavy drunken feeling. As Jaime's, you can find that in better liquor shops. Now that I've got that out of the way, let me talk about the radio. And I left the end of part 1 with, listen, we're going to do this one of two ways. We're going to use, I had the terminals, here it is right here. We're going to put the new selenium rectifier and caps on there with one of these little doodad terminal strips. Or we're going to use the filter pack that's being hawked on a nice gentleman, supposedly. I don't know the man personally, but guy sells these on eBay, and apparently they must work. So I've never used one. I've never seen one. So I figure I'd leave it up to you folks. Let me, leave it in the comments and give me your feedback. What do you want to see? Well, the number is as a 3-to-1 ratio. People wanted to see the filter pack. So I went out and bought one, and it just arrived. So let me get it out and we'll see what's inside. Okay, here's the package. Let me get this, there we go. Get this guy opened up. Let's see what we got. Oh, Tom's Old Radios. Home filter pack products for ZTOs. And apparently this guy also does transoceanic restoration. So good for him. Oh, and he's a ham. This ham calls KD5VAA. And that's cool. So he has his Gmail address here. So that's pretty cool. You know what I'll do is, when I put this video together, I'll put the address and his eBay stuff on a link that you can find it. So I'll put that right on the top of the comments for you. So, oh, and here's the front. It says power supply module for 500 and 600 series Zenith transoceanic radios. Oh, I love this. Simple, quick, and foolproof. So top quality components, rock solid performance, complete detail instructions, and color-coded install diagrams. All right. So I've never opened this. This is like, I didn't do this before. I just kind of like, this is all a surprise to me. So, oh, all right, let me take this card out. Now, this is interesting. What is this? Oh, okay, this must be a standoff that you could put in there for the filter pack. And it looks like there's a couple we have a brown wire, a red wire, a couple pieces of shrink tubing. That's kind of neat. Oh, and guess what, folks? There it is right there. There's the filter pack. Okay. And we got 5 capacitors on there. So they must include the 10 microfarad cap that's behind the tone controls. Okay, I can visually barely read this here. Let me get some better light. Look at that. 150 ohm, 5 watt resistor, just like I would use in if I did it by hand. Kind of diode. This is a 1N4003. That should be fine. I have a bag of 1N4007, so we've got here a 68. What is this? A 47, a 22, and a 220. So that's really cool. All right, so, oh, and here's the colored wires. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get this installed in the radio, solder these wires onto the various, I see that there's, I don't know. Sorry about that, I forgot I had my air compressor plugged in. I see there's points on the board. I guess they have to solder in the wires. Oh, and they're even printed on the board. Which wire goes where? Say red, brown, orange, white, yellow. That's really cool. This, I guess, makes this about as a no-brainer as you possibly can. Oh, and this is really cool. You know what he did here? This is the paper that comes in. Oh, this is a can dome. Oh, this is showing the can dome. Okay. I thought I saw this little stripey thing in here. So it shows the wiring, because there was a late production H500 that had 50A1 tube, and I had it I had one like 10 years ago, and I sold it, and I should have kept it because they're rare. And I've only seen one other one that had the 50A1 and the H500. So that was just when they were just running out of steam. The cool thing about those radios were that you could run the radio with or without the 50A1. And then there's a little diagram for 6-tube 600 series radios. And here's all the instructions right here. I'm not going to read all the instructions because it's going to probably take forever. Okay, so 5-tube chassis with a 1S5 tube and 5-tube chassis with a 1U5 tube. So I'm pretty sure this, I'm going to have to verify that. I think this one has a 1S5. And it even has a little diagram here. I don't know how, hopefully it's coming through okay. Showing the original selenium rectifier. And then here's that spacer that I saw in here in the bag. And they're showing how that's going to go into the radio. So this is all kind of no-brainer stuff. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to, go, well, I'm going to put this wire on now and do all that. That's going to, you guys are going to fall asleep. So rather than do that, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to assemble the board. I'll put the wires on first, and then I'll show you what that looks like. And then I'm actually going to do the heavy lifting. I'm going to unscrew I'm going to desolder what I have to do, and then put this in here. And I guess here's the hole for the new peg right in the middle, just above the dropping resistor. I'm actually, so far I'm really impressed with this. So now it's just all manual labor. Let me get to work. In the middle of putting the filter pack in, I've been following the instructions. But literally, I forgot about this. I figured I'd share this with everybody. I've already removed the old selenium rectifier, and there she sits. Okay. But to put that standoff in, that has to go. And to get access to this screw, you literally have to take the speaker off, because there's a nut on the opposite end of this thing. Right there. All right. So to really get this thing to come off, that's what you're going to need to do, is you're going to have to remove the speaker. All right. So the speaker is still connected. You can see all the wiring's intact. But here's the bugaboo. The grommets for the speaker were all dried out. And I guarantee you, if you got a 70, 80-year-old radio and you got to remove the speaker, the grommets are just going to disintegrate. I have new grommets that I bought in a kit from Horrible Freight. So I'm going to pop 3 of them in there, put the new standoff in, and I figure I'd share that with you since I'm in the middle of all this. The other thing that it's stated in the instructions that I'm trying to follow, it's not that they're written wrong, it's an interpretive thing on my side. But yeah, you just want to have those grommets to put on there. They say that you want to put the wiring in first, and you see I have some wires that are already intact. It's actually physical connections underneath. So you do all the wiring first, and then you install the filter pack, and then once all the wiring, the hand wiring is done, then you can wire up the filter pack. So make sure you got grommets. And through the miracle of video editing, here it is. It's all done. And it came out pretty good, I think. I tried to make the wiring nice and easy. Let me see if I can get a good shot. How's that? So you can see just how it all kind of went together. It was fairly straightforward. The instructions were pretty good. I got hung up on one thing, but it was actually, I think the way it was written, it was carried out for a different radio. I think it was for a 600 series of radios. So basically, I haven't fired this up yet, so you get the installation instructions. Now, also, you got to remember, too, when you order these up, if you decide to go with one of these, you got to pick the right one because he's got, I think, 3 different ones. All right, so this was just specifically the 5-tube. This would be like H500 or G500, all right? So here you are with step-by-step instructions, and you just kind of go down the line. And what I did was, as I was doing each step, I just verified the wiring and everything on the board, and I just start doing the soldering and assembling and what have you. And then there's also, on this one, there's a second page. You flip it over, and you can see, orange filter pack lead. That was the orange wire. The brown filter pack lead. There's the brown wire. Red filter pack lead. Okay, and it just goes on and on and on. You just go a step at a time, step at a time, step at a time. Okay. Now, that all being said, I did get confused on the picture here. And you see here is this orange wire coming off the board, and it's going to pin to it. The one has 5, and I think that was for the 12 microfarad capacitor that goes behind the switch bank. Well, this wire, I get a pointer here, so I hold the camera. Like I said, I'm a one-man operation here. This wire here, coming off the 1S5, is going to this, looks like a terminal strip here, and then it has up here cut up on top. But I didn't see that on this radio. There are other terminal strips in here, and I kind of got confused by that. But that's not in here. But then when I flip the page over, it's showing, like, say, if this was, say, a 600 series radio, I believe that strip is on that radio. And then you can see there has dotted lines here, whereas on the G500, it's showing a solid wire, and it's just not existent. So, I don't know. But that's just how I interpreted that. So I kind of got stuck on that for a few minutes. But other than that, everything was good. The only other small bugaboo I had, I'm going to grab my pointer here. And here's everything in here all kind of nice and neat. Like, well, there's 2 things I want to explain. One is that, see this kind of fat, whoop, let me get the camera, this little fat blue wire here? Okay. That's part of the 120 volt input that this thing's got to get to make it work. Well, the blue wire, there was no blue wire in the bag. So I found a wire that's pretty much kind of like the wires that they gave me, and then it also had a shield on it, but I also put a piece of blue shrink tubing over it just to kind of imitate the blue wire here that you see in the picture where it says AC battery switch, and that's going down to the switch where if you were going to plug in the cord to run the radio off batteries. So that wire was missing, but it's not a big deal. I kind of worked around that. Other than that, everything was straightforward, and if I had to give this a grade, if I was a teacher in school, I would give this thing an A-. It's not perfect for my brain or how I want to do it, but it's well constructed and does save time. It just, I probably could have done the terminal strip thing in probably a little bit shorter time because I've done a lot of these radios, but I would not be against buying one of these, especially if you're a first-timer. And if you just follow the instructions, everything goes okay. I tried to neaten up the wires as best I could. And I did have to, like I showed earlier, I had to take off. Well, actually, I didn't show. I had to undo the speaker, and to get room to get to the stud to tighten that down to hold the board and the against the standoff there. The other thing I would say is that when I assembled this, I did this with the board not attached. So when I went to attach it to that stud, I ended up breaking off 2 of the wires. So I would say, if you're going to do this, go ahead and do the hand wiring first to your points, across the chassis. Then install the board and get that right. And then once you have all your wiring in place, then go ahead, and then you could actually see it in the picture. You can see the little studs sticking out here. Whoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And do all those wiring points up there. And they'll be happy. So I'm impressed. I do like this. I recommend it. I struggle with just trying to get things that I'm used to doing through my mind, that this is a different way, and just read and follow what's written and you'll be fine. And I was. So now here's the tricky part. Does it work? I'm going to put this on a Variac and do it that way, just in case there's something weird. All right, now the big moment. Let's put this on variable. I've got the amp meter on. I have the radio turned on. I got the volume turned all the way up. So we'll just keep an eye on the voltmeter. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Not hearing any buzzes or weird stuff. 80, 90.
In terms of Adams
100
attending the inauguration, I don't really necessarily have any problem with that. I feel like there's a lot of local officials and maybe some local people
oh my God,
offended that he, as the second black mayor of New York City, did not attend those events in New York City honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But yeah,
all right,
I don't know.
I think we got a winner. I don't have it all the way up. I'm at 121 volts. And it's not very much current draw at all. Radio sounds okay.
I don't have a problem with going. I don't have a problem with going, except...
Try another station. There's an oldie station, if I can find it. Okay. Sounds pretty good. All right, so I say this is a home run. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that. I think what we'll do next is, our next video, we're going to we'll do an alignment, because this thing needs an alignment, and also I have a feeling that this dial pointer is a little bit off from it being slipping or whatever. I may have to redo the dial stringer on it or whatever. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you hopefully another week or so. So take care.